Authentic Experts with Kara James, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet. Hear their stories and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Authentic Experts with Kara James is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Kara.
Hi, everybody. Kara James here with Authentic Experts Podcast. And I'm excited to introduce you to my guest today, Elizabeth Eiss. Elizabeth helps organizations scale for impact and profit, especially small to mid-sized businesses. She's an operations simplifier and expert on leveraging today's gig economy. Elizabeth's the founder, CEO of ResultsResourcing, an online talent curation platform and service. Elizabeth designed and co-developed ResultsResourcing, oh my goodness, which is the freelance staffing platform that comes with your own recruiter. ResultsResourcing curates content or contract talent to help organizations scale. She's passionate about empowering the purpose of others through win-win solutions for employers, which are the buyers, and the contractors, the sellers, in today's fluid talent market. An accomplished, innovative leader, Elizabeth has successfully led multi-billion-dollar organizations, as well as startup ventures in technology and staffing. Ooh, welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thrilled to have you here. And what you have going on, you and I have met multiple times, and she's really got an amazing business going here. So,
thank you.
Yeah, love for everybody to check it out. But yeah, let's just dive right in. We were talking earlier about, hiring and how hard it is to find talent, right? Well, if they come to you, they don't have to worry about that. You're doing all the work. You're doing all the back end work, which is great. So we want to talk about, what to outsource and how to decide what to outsource. If you could help us, decipher that, and then we can talk about, hiring skilled, reliable freelancers.
Sure, that sounds great. Well, a little bit of a backstory, I guess, is how I even got involved in this is I had to decide for my own entrepreneurial ventures what I wanted to do myself or my core team would do, and then what I could outsource to others. I'm a big believer in what Peter Drucker, one of the fathers of management thinking, said like 60 years ago. He said, do what you do best and outsource the rest. And that's really part of my core belief system, is that people need to understand the value of their time and spend most of that time doing the things that drive revenue for their business, drive customer value, loyalty, those sorts of things. And there are just so many activities that are needed to run a business, successful business, that need to be done, but are really cost to the business. So your client's not going to pay for them, whether it's social media or just general administration, bookkeeping. There's just so many, I know we'll get into this core versus non-core, but that's kind of my thinking, is the core work is what generates revenue, and the non-core work is ripe for outsourcing, because your client doesn't really care as long as it's done well. And there are so many freelancers today that are not in between jobs. They're professional at all of these backroom jobs, and it's just getting matched with the right one that is, competent, reliable, and nice. Those are the three things I keep hearing from business owners, competent, reliable, and nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we feel like, okay, I can find this person. And then once you get in, I know I've been on Upwork and things like that. And it's so time consuming to try to, to find that right person, and doing the interviews or meeting up with them and DMing. And it's crazy. So I love that you take care of that.
Yeah, well, it's like those platforms really were inspiration for results resourcing, because I became a power user of many of those, in the early days when I was forming my own teams and including freelancers in those teams. And what I really discovered is that, well, frankly, as a result of my corporate background, because I ran a number of large businesses and had, pretty broad range of responsibilities, I was decent at writing a job description, at interviewing, hiring, all that stuff. So I was actually pretty good at finding freelancers on these platforms because there's fabulous people on the platform. The hard part is, as you've already identified, finding them. And it's very time consuming. And what I noticed, to my mind, what was missing was the human touch. So you go to those platforms and they're 100% do it yourself. So if you're not good at writing a job description, you might be an idea person, not a detail person, whatever it might be, you're never going to find what you need. And you may not even know with contemporary technology or whatever, what are the skill sets you need to produce the result you want. And so I basically decided that there needed to be a staffing platform, a job platform that inserted human help. And I think in particular, solopreneurs and small and mid-sized businesses are the ones that need the most help. That's what I'm passionate about, is how do I help those businesses that are the backbone of the United States economy, Canada, in fact, globally. How do I help them scale? And it's really by matching them with talent that they might not need full time, so they build a hybrid team. And so what Results Resourcing is, and it's a platform that I designed and co-developed with my development team. But that's what we do. We've automated the entire staffing process. We're focused exclusively on contractors because we really feel they can help small businesses scale, but we insert the human only when it matters. So no one using our service is paying for somebody to push digital paper. They're only paying for, our expertise, frankly, in helping to define the job requirements and find and vet and interview freelancers for them. And frankly, we guarantee our matches for the first 30 days. We're really good at what we do.
That is amazing. Yeah, that right there says it all, right? So what do you have to lose?
Exactly.
It's guaranteed that you're going to find the perfect match. How long does it typically take? If I came to you today and was looking for a copywriter, for example, how long? I know you would need more information than what I'm telling you, but
no. I mean, in general, that's a great question because we get it all the time. And so we deliver talent in two ways. And I'm going to start with the long way because that's actually where we started, but it also helped us really grow our expertise. So in the early days, we did custom talent pools, and that took us about 3 weeks. We would work with the client and build the job description, and we would post the job on our platform as well as on LinkedIn because we are LinkedIn recruiters, which gives us access to anyone in the world, frankly, that's looking for contract work. And we can find the latest and the greatest. And we've got all kinds of great methods that give us a high response rate on LinkedIn and those sorts of things to identify great candidates. But what people kept coming back to us, and frankly, it took 3 weeks, not because of us, because the better freelancers were busy. They weren't sitting around waiting for an opportunity. They were working with other clients. And so it took time to get the best freelancers. So it had nothing to do with our process, really. But our clients kept coming to us and saying, what I need is somebody who's competent in copywriting skills and reliable and nice, as I already mentioned, and I need it now. Yeah. And so basically what we developed are a parallel set of programs that we call on-demand programs. And they're generally around the most commonly requested things: virtual assistant, executive assistant. Copywriting isn't necessarily in that because there's a lot of writing expertise that is different, but still many of our pre-vetted virtual assistants and executive assistants are very skillful copywriters. So sometimes it can be included in those jobs. And those on-demand jobs also include biz dev support, bookkeeping, light project management, the things that are just commonly needed for most businesses. And the people that man those jobs or woman those jobs are pre-vetted by me. I've either worked with them personally or they've had a successful track record on our platform with other clients. And basically we can get a new client up and running in 24 to 48 hours with a pre-vetted person that is highly skilled in various areas depending on their needs. So those are our on-demand programs, and it's like fast. And again, the same guarantee exists, but we know people need it now. Yeah. And they sometimes can't wait, So if it's more complex, we can do that too. But, we've got some really terrific people that can really step right in and add value.
Wow, that is amazing. Wonderful. Yeah, 24 to 48 hours. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It would take me that long to write up the job description. So great.
Well, see, we've done that already for you. You know,
Yeah.
basically, as we developed these programs, we kept asking ourselves, okay, people want a VA. What do they generally want? They need a list of administrative tasks done, and they generally need some social media tasks done. And
Right.
there needs to be a competency in different kinds of technology. So looking at those three things, we basically built a job description for you. Like, generally speaking, you're going to need work from this list.
Yeah.
And so it actually, you don't have to write a job
Yeah.
description. You
Even
just
easier.
use
Just
ours.
take a
It's
look and
flexible.
say, there it is. Right.
Yeah. And
Excellent.
it helps people think through, oh, I didn't know I could outsource that. Or
Yeah.
it is a real eye opener without having to come up with the list
Right.
yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Having that list so they can know even more, right? That they could
Exactly.
more out of the VA. They're all based in the US, is that correct?
US and Canada.
Oh, US, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. I know we
And that
we
really-
talked months ago and I was just
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
Initially, we were global, and there's pros and cons to that, but our clients kept asking us for people that understood United States culture and
Sure.
spoke and wrote English well.
Yeah.
And so they cost more than
Yeah.
people in the Philippines or India, but they come with a different skill set and a work style that is a better match
Mhm.
to
Sure.
American companies or Canadian companies.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So can you explain what core versus non-core work is?
Sure. Well, I referred to it a little earlier when I was talking about what is revenue generating, but that, as in our definition, core work is work that is your core value proposition. The work you do to deliver your value to clients. And non-core is anything that's not that. So in the case of someone that is in the social media business, social media work is core. But if you're in, just a retail business, brick and mortar or virtual, social media isn't core. It's something that's administrative. So it kind of depends on your business. But, basically that's the dividing line for us. And it also is, it's a little risk management too, because there's still a lot of discussion about who should be an employee, who's a contractor, and misclassification and all that kind of stuff. And I think the more you focus on the things that are non-core to the business, the less risk there is, for
Right.
people to say, oh, this is an employee, not a contractor. And then, frankly, there's also value to using platforms, whether it's ResultsResourcing or others, because it does create an arm's length relationship between the client and the contractor. But that's the main concept between core and non-core.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thanks for explaining that. And how about any secrets that you could share with us about hiring skilled, reliable freelancers? Do you want to give me any secrets, Elizabeth? Or
well, I think the biggest secret is starting with the right one. Because if you start with the right one, the likelihood of success is so much higher. And it's really, in my mind, well, if you read about the talent world today, it's all about the employee and whether they're going to stay. And that, frankly, the best contractors choose their clients the same way the client chooses the contractor. So what's really important is the match. And one of our secrets, frankly, when we write our job profiles, particularly for the custom talent, is we really try to appeal to or focus on the purpose of the client's business. Because we find it's really important for a longer standing relationship for the freelancer to align and want to deliver on that value proposition. And so that's an important part, of what we think about and how we basically, I don't want to say pitch, but we put the job spec out to make sure that the freelancer doesn't think it's, just another client and it's just revenue, but it's like there's purpose to that business.
They have a passion for it too. Or they want to be there and they're going to enjoy working with them. So
I think that's a huge piece. And the second piece is, frankly, communications, particularly in the virtual world. Treat the freelancer like a member of the team and, share information, meet regularly with them. Because I hear so many times about, not so much with our platform because we operate differently, but people come to us from other platforms and it's like it hasn't been successful. And as we talk about why that is, it's there was never a regularly established communication process. There were misunderstandings. There wasn't a confirmation process of, okay, you asked me to go do this week, and here's my schedule for delivering that. So I mean, I think there's a certain amount of, day-to-day, week-to-week management that helps with a successful engagement. And then as part of that, it's introducing the freelancer to the team as part of the team.
Right. Yeah.
They're not going to take.
So they don't feel like an outsider, right?
Yeah.
If you feel like an outsider, you're not gung ho about doing the work.
Yeah. And I think freelancers lean towards those clients that treat them as valued team members.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great point. Absolutely. Who wouldn't want that, right? And then just going to work harder and be more vested. So great. Thanks for sharing that. Let's talk about the value of time. I think a lot of people don't realize what their time is worth. Myself included. Sometimes I find myself doing things like, I can't believe I spent 3 hours on, blah, 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 this task. And if I calculated it out, it was not worth however many hundreds of dollars that I could have paid,
That's really a common problem. And it gets back to, what do you outsource? Yeah. And, we ended up building a little tool actually called the ROI of time calculator, because it helped people actually put a number to how they were spending their time. And it's really simple. I mean, it's just, what's an hour of your time worth? That's the first question it asks. The survey probably takes 3 minutes. And that's the first question. And no one ever puts $10.
Yeah.
The average, I think, in all the people that have taken the survey is like $160.
Yeah.
But, that's the first question. Then it's what's your core value proposition, and how many hours a week do you work? And it really starts to boil down to how much of, your hourly rate are you spending on the core work? Yeah. And then it does get into, okay, well, what are the other hours that you're working? And it really adds up. And all of a sudden, someone's looking at a large number of work that, if they could even shift part of that non-core work to somebody else, it's going to allow them more time to focus on their core business.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Generate more revenue. That's investment in your business as opposed to a cost to your business.
Right. And having that, specialized freelancer really helps, because sure, you can get the work done or have it done, pay a VA for it, right? But if you have to go back and redo it and edit, it's almost, it is worse.
Yeah.
You're still paying them, and then you're going back and redoing things. And so, well, I'm glad you were able to share your business. I want everybody to know about this. It's an incredible platform. Yeah. So let us know about anything you have going on. Do you have any offers, programs?
Well, we are offering, as I mentioned to you before, we were featured in a new book out, a second edition book called The New World of Work, The Cube, the Cloud, and What's Next. And it was written by Tim Holneen and Terry Maxwell. And, some of our insights and what we're doing with our platform were featured in it. And we are offering a free copy to anybody that would like to have it, either through a Kindle edition or a paperback, which is what I have in front of me here. Yeah. So I'm happy to share both the ROI of time calculator link, as well as the information about getting a copy of this book in your podcast notes, or whatever is the best way to communicate that.
Please. Well, actually, if you could tell us here now for people who are listening, because the podcast won't, it'll be in the notes, but I don't know if everybody has access to that. Sometimes they just listen. So if that's easier to just announce the site. Your site is ResultsResourcing.
Yes, ResultsResourcing.net. And to help people remember the name of the site, we named it that because we resource results. So there's meaning to the name, because sometimes it's hard to remember the name. And if you go to the Insights page, there's a link to the ROI of time calculator. And I believe this week there will also be a link to order a copy of The New World of Work.
Wonderful. Thank you, Elizabeth. Well, I always say I end with, the podcast with, what book do you recommend? Well, you just did. So thanks so much. We appreciate that. Great. Well, it was nice having you here, and I hope you'll come back.
Oh, appreciate it so much, and would love to. And especially if there's people that write in or whatever and have more questions about how to
Yeah.
freelance, how to outsource successfully, happy to come back.
Wonderful. Yeah, please reach out to Elizabeth too and follow her, follow, subscribe.
Exactly.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Kara.
Thanks for listening to Authentic Experts with Kara James. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.